Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and doing another Aether Revolt draft, intermediate Swiss League. If you like the content on this channel, please subscribe and like the videos, and check out everybody, support everybody. We've got Sam Rubin, Travis Sowers, Jamie Rigotti, check them all out. Okay, so we have Quicksmith Rebel, which is a very good card. We also have this Ridge Scale Tusker, which is really good too. Some powerhouse cards in here. I think I'll take the Rebel. I mean, being able to like just attach a shock to an artifact, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, and if the artifact creature, if you put it on an artifact creature and they have any sort of like ability like Death Touch or Lifelink or something, also very good. So I think we want the Quicksmith Rebel. Although I do want to play this Ridge Scale Tusker one of these days. This card looks so good, so efficient. But we're going to start off the Rebel. I think this card is very strong. I've gotten a chance to play it once on stream, and I was very, very impressed. Okay, sweet. So we're past another red rare, and I think this red rare is actually very good. At worst, 3 mana, destroy an artifact, get a 2/2 red gremlin, which is pretty good. And then at best, what? You pay 7, destroy 3, get 3 gremlins. I mean, this just can do a lot of work. So we're going to follow it up with another red rare, which is awesome. What else is in this pack that's good? I said I would try an efficient construction deck one of these days. It's probably true. But, you know, it's whenever you cast an artifact spell, so you have to build around it pretty hard. Caught in the Brights is very good. And nothing else, like, terribly exciting in here. So happy to get this red rare on the follow-up. Wow, and then past Hungry Flames. Very nice. What's Felidar Guardian do again? Exile another target permanent you control and return it. Okay, that's actually a good effect. We have this Druid of the Cowl, which is good, but we got to take the Hungry Flames here. Awesome removal spell. Upgraded Lunge. Very, very good. Also have a Prey Upon in here. And like I said, the Druid of the Cowl is very good too. But Hungry Flames staying on color, getting great picks for us in red here. Okay, so now we finally, I think, oh, well, 4th pick, Druid of the Cowl. So we just passed some really powerful green cards, right? Ridge Scale Tusker and a Druid of the Cowl, but Druid of the Cowl in this pack is just leagues above everything else. Like, there's nothing in here that I think is close. So far, I'm not that impressed with the Technician. It is not a Void Mage Separatist. So it does not quite do the same thing that previous blue iterations of that card do. But Druid of the Cowl is just phenomenal, so we're going to take that. I don't know how I feel about the Deadeye Harpooner yet. I think it's okay. I do think it's okay. I'm just not, like, blown away by it. But Druid, blown away by that for sure. Okay. So Chandra's Revolution seems like an easy snap pick here. We're already in red, and I like blowing things up, so very good. I think the Frontline Rebel is very playable, very efficient, especially in red, which does not usually get that efficient at common, so that's why it's got the downside. I don't really think Deft Dismissal is very good. I would much rather pay 2 mana to deal 3 damage to attacker or blocker than 4 to divide it. Aether Herder is playable, not very exciting. And High Spire Infusion is a great trick. I like the Infusion more than the Herder. And Revolution. It is. Okay. Wow. That's a really late Winkin Raiders. This card is good. I probably just want to take a solid red pick again. Because I'm looking at this Frontline Rebel, and I'm just like, I probably want this. We also have a Prey Upon, though, which is removal. No guarantees we end up in green, but I mean, Prey Upon is definitely, I don't know if I'd put it on the level of premium removal, but it's right up there. It's close. We don't have great bodies for Prey Upon currently. It doesn't mean we won't find them. Like, if I had a Frontline Rebel, we would have a great body. Like 3/3 is 2/3 is kind of like the worst creature I want when I'm running Prey Upon. But we're gonna take the Rebel just because I think it's very playable. It's a good cost. It's an efficient body. I like it. Okay, so there's a Gear Smasher, but I'd rather have the Automaton because it's a 2-drop and it works with our Rebel quite well. So I like the idea of being able to shock something on tap and then dealing damage to my opponent. Automaton would be a very cool creature to get that sort of upgrade. So no green cards remaining. We are seeing a lot of blue. So it could be red-blue is the direction we go. But for now, I'm going to take the Automaton. The Welder. Okay. So Ravenous Intruder in red, but I'm not really interested in that. We could take the Infusion. Powerful trick. It keeps us in green, but like I said, we passed some early green. Swooper is certainly playable, but no other energy. Doesn't mean we won't find more, but I don't think the Swooper's like busted or anything. It is pretty good. It's evasive. I'd probably just take the Infusion. I mean, I think this card is very good. It's very efficient. Like, it doesn't even matter if you don't need the energy. Just +3/+3 instant speed, 2 mana is good. So we can take the Swooper now. There's a couple white cards. We have the Automaton in black. I'm trying to think if we've seen a lot of powerful black, though. I'm not sure that we have. It seems more likely that we'd be able to end up in blue easier. It just seems like a lot of blue has been flowing. But blue in general, not a super powered color. I guess we can take the Swooper anyway. There's just nothing that really matters in this pack. Okay, so we can take Sailback. It's a fine 5-drop. Can beat down. It's fairly efficient. Okay, very late Destructive Tampering. I want to... I think this card... I didn't give this card the appreciation that I think it deserves, so we're going to take the Tampering here. Over the Infestation, I think this is more of a sideboard card, although you can main deck it too. It's just a little bit expensive. But Tampering is versatile enough where it's main deckable, and it can win you the game too, so I like it. So, I mean, we got the Technician now. We also have the Implement. This Implement's pretty clunky, actually. 3 mana, you don't even get to draw. So 4 mana, draw 2, but it's an artifact. I guess we can take the Technician then, even though I don't think the Technician's particularly good. Okay, so we can take into custody. That's more of a like tempo card. I think we're going to be able to find more removal in red, so I'd rather have like access to counterspell. But we want more. We obviously want some artifacts to be able to improvise it for like 1 or 2 mana. So we're off to a good start. We're certainly in red. Okay. So here we probably just take the Aether Chaser. It's an efficient beater. There's Monstrous Onslaught and Druid of the Cowl in here, which are both good. But I would think this is the direction we're really going to get cut off in green because we passed those really powerhouse green cards. So it makes more sense to see if blue... Well, focus on red and see if blue continues to flow like it did in Pack 1. And I'm totally willing to just jump right in there. We have Whir of Invention, but we don't actually have an artifact worth searching for. I doubt Whir of Invention's worth anything either. I assume it's not. Yeah, it's not worth anything. So we'll take the Chaser, which is just a very efficient creature. It's very good. Excellent 2-drop. Okay. So here, pretty unexciting pick. There's really not anything we want so much, so I might just take another Automaton, which is not an exciting pick, but we are kind of hunting for some more artifacts for Quicksmith Rebel, and I think Automaton is okay. Its effect can win you the game. I think we can possibly wheel the Implement, although this pack is very weak, actually. There's not anything good for anybody, really, in this pack. Like, the best card might just be, like, the Dawnfeather Eagle, and if that's the best card in the pack on pick 2, you got a pretty bad pack, so... I think we'll just take the 2-drop that's going to make the deck and be satisfied enough with that. Okay, I actually like Merchant's Dockhand. We also have the Sweatworks Brawler, which is certainly good with when you've got like 2-drop artifacts, right? You play your 2-drop artifact, turn 3, you get a Brawler. I maybe just want the Rebel. It's more consistent. I don't have to have an artifact to be able to power this out on turn 3. And a 3-drop 3/3 is very good. I actually like the Dockhand, though. I think this is a good card. It's a way to get card advantage. I mean, being able to just tap draw is actually very good. I think this card's good. I'm going to take the Dockhand. I got to play it that first time around. I was fairly impressed. We don't necessarily look like we have to be beat down either, right? We have high upside value cards, right? Because we have Destructive Tampering, lets you win in the late game. Rebel, win through value. Release the Gremlins, 7 mana, blow up a bunch of your things. So we have the means to win outside of just trying to rapidly beat down our opponent. Peace Walker Colossal, what do you do? 3 mana, crew 4 for a 6/6, but then another target okay. I mean, I wish that was more playable for us, but we're getting another Aether Chaser, which is just excellent. So, no problem here. I doubt the Peace Walker Colossus is worth anything anyway. It's worth 10 cents. Okay, so we'll take the Chaser. Be happy about that. And yeah, it does appear that we're blue-red probably, right? So we can take the Implement, the red Implement, not a great one. We can take the Gear Smasher, which is okay. Nothing to write home about. The Renegade Map for Revolt. Take into Custody for a little more tempo. I'm probably okay taking the Implement. Not terribly exciting, but gives us a Rebel outlet. Can deal some damage. Gives you a Revolt outlet. Cantrips at a reasonable cost. Works with Dockhand. So we have synergies with it. Works with Rebuke. It's actually, it seems completely reasonable for us. So we'll take the Implement. Okay, so a third Automaton. We also have the Filigree Crawler. I'm okay taking all these 2/1s. We'll run into some problems if we run into some Pyro Helixes, certainly. But I'm okay taking all of these Automatons. I think these cards are fine. And our removal that we're rocking currently, because it looks like we're just out of green at this point, right? So I probably don't even want the Wrangle, but I can leave it in for now. So I'm fine taking the Automaton. We still need more artifacts, so I'm okay taking the 2-drop one. All the Automatons. Yeah, that's a late Poisoner, by the way. Kind of surprising, but let's take the Automaton. So we've just got a metric ton of these Automatons, but oh wow, that's a late Chandra's Revolution. So we're going to take that over the Infestation. I want to play this Engineer one of these days, but obviously this is not the deck for it, so happily taking a late Revolution. We can take another Sailback. We could take the Gear Smasher now. We have 6 artifacts. I doubt we need a second Sailback, so I guess I'll take the Gear Smasher now. And once again, we still do not have... Well, getting triple blue would be hard enough, but we don't have an artifact worth searching up, so not worth going down the Whir of Invention path. So let's just take the Gear Smasher, happily enough. So there's an Intruder. I might just take it, but I mean, I don't really need Wrangle. And once again, I don't need a second Sailback. I think we're kind of actively looking to get this curve even lower. Honestly, it looks like we could even just go mono red fairly easily, which almost makes me want to take maybe Wrangle for beat. Well, I'll take the Intruder for now. Aerial Modification. You know, I got a chance to play that in the last draft, and I was pretty impressed. We have a Renegade Map, which I guess technically lets us splash. We probably don't need a second Rebuke. I don't know how good Rebuke is anyway in Limited. So we could take Negate for sideboard, or a second Gear Smasher. I mean, Gear Smasher is not that good. Negate could potentially save us from something pretty hazardous, so I think I'll take it. And we get the Gear Smasher anyway. I don't need a Prize Fighter construct. So we're looking good. I mean, it does appear that we easily could be mono red, so I might just consider that. I'd like some more artifacts, but if we can't get them, we can't get them. So stuff on the fence of getting cut already. Possibly our entire blue package. Salvage Scuttler's not very good. It does work, I guess, synergistically with Enter the Battlefield artifacts, but I don't really like it. So, Combal. Oh, wow. Virtuoso. We do have some energy now, don't we? We have the Chasers. We have... I thought we had some... Oh, the Swooper. Maybe that's it. Okay, so we only have 3 energy cards, which basically makes the Virtuoso like 3 mana 2/3, but I mean, it's just a good card. I could take the Virtuoso and not be unhappy about it, I'll tell you that. I'm still willing to be in blue. I mean, there's not a ton of incentive outside of casting things easier to be in mono color at all. So why don't we just take the Virtuoso and maybe we'll find some more energy cards along the way, which will reward us even more. And there's the artifacts as well, like the 2-drop blue one. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, pay 1, and you can get 2 energy. So that with Whirler Virtuoso is... Era of Innovation is the card I'm thinking of. But yeah, that with Whirler Virtuoso is pretty absurd. And the next closest is like Chandra's Pyrohelix, which I would take, but I think Virtuoso is much better. So we have an Infiltrator now, and a Prophetic Prism. So Prism is a 2-drop artifact that can fix our mana and cantrips. Infiltrator is just a beatdown card, which is fine. I think actually Wrangle with Gear Smasher is not that terrible either. If you steal an artifact creature, that is. There's also a P-Foul in here, but probably don't need to actively go for that. I'm kind of thinking Prism, but I really like Infiltrator. Infiltrator is an efficient creature. Problem is we don't have any vehicles to kind of abuse it with, but maybe I just like it anyway as a 3 mana attack for 4. Like, we have a good amount of removal, right? The Flames, the Revolutions, and with Tampering, it's just like a 3-drop that gets in for 4. This is kind of tough. I don't think this is necessarily a Prism deck, so I'm going to take the Infiltrator. That's close, though. Basically, I just like how efficiently Infiltrator can beat down. I think it's just very, very efficient. So Malfunction is fine. It's probably not what we need, though. Intruder can go. I'm still on the fence with these double Gear Smashers, although Gear Smasher Virtuoso, if I could go off with Virtuoso, I think the Gear Smashers get a lot better. I think this is probably just a Doorbuster pretty easily. It helps us get more energy, and I've found it to be a very powerful card. Renegade Map could still possibly make the deck, although I kind of don't want it. How many Artificers do we have? I doubt... Well, these are Artificers. That is actually pretty good. These are Constructs. That's an Artificer. That's 3. Wow. Well, I guess we have like 5 or 6. Yeah, we have like 6. I still think we're taking the Doorbuster. Goggles would be good for this deck, but I think Doorbuster is just better. All right. Well, Fabrication Module is looking a lot better. We have the Goggles too, though, and a Prism. Wow. And a Construct. A lot of good options here. A lot of good options. And the Malfunction as well. So Fabrication Module kind of works with our Virtuoso. We can, it's a little bit slow going, but we do have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we only have 5? Okay, we only have 5 energy generators currently. So maybe I do want the Goggles instead. Like turn 1 Goggles, turn 2 Chasers, beatdown, hard. 3/3 first strike on turn 2. That generates another servo. Like that is very good. I think we're going to go with the Goggles. I like the Fabrication Module a lot. It's just I'm not as confident that we can reliably make it work as we can these Goggles in the deck. So now we'll take the P-Foul, which is fine. We probably can fit it into the deck fairly easily. We'll see. So Decoction Module. So this one actually does work better with the Virtuoso. Like, Decoction Module would have worked well alongside the Fabrication Module. I don't think Metalwork Colossus is going to work in here. We don't have enough non-creature artifacts, but we can take the Decoction Module. It actually kind of works, admittedly, a little bit slowly with the Virtuoso if you bounce it, but every time you get the artifact, like, it basically reduces the cost of the Thopter to 2 when Module's out, which is actually pretty good. And otherwise, what would it be? Like a Wayward Giant? I like the Giant more than the Sailback, but And I don't really need a second P-Foul, so sure, we'll take the Decoction module here. Okay, well, Gearseeker Serpent might just be good enough. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus these, yeah, I think Serpent's just there. Like, we can still easily play 16 lands with the Gearseeker Serpent too, just because I think most of the time this is going to be a 5-drop. Like, this can easily replace our Sailback, and I won't feel bad about it. The Puzzle Knot would be good too. It synergizes well with the Virtuoso. And Gremlins would actually be fine in here too, but we're going to take the Serpent. There's also a Trade Winds. Still going to take Serpent. Okay, Theorist is very good. Like, what does this one do? Oh, yeah, that's right. This card's okay, too. But we're going to take the Theorist because it's going to make the deck. I'd rather have the Theorist over the Puzzle Knot, I think. And it just gives us another little energy creator, which is good. So maybe, you know, honestly, I might just take Goggles number 2. And I probably can make it work. I probably can. Yeah, all right. Let's go deep on Goggles. So I can take the Mastodon. I can take a second P-Foul. I don't think either are going to make the deck. This is just a 5-mana 4/5, which is fine. This is a 4-mana. I can at least give it flying. So maybe I think it's more likely we play the P-Foul. But honestly, I don't think either are going to happen. Well, we can play Malfunction. Got the Puzzle Knot back. I actually like Cathartic Reunion, but we might be able to fit Puzzle Knot in here. All right, we'll take the Rebuff. Not going to main deck it. Take the Hijack. Not going to main deck that. Okay. So we have a lot of cuts to make, but the deck is looking very cohesive. We've got a game plan, and I think it looks good. And honestly, I think the Gear Smashers look a lot better now than they did when I picked them up. Okay, so let's figure out cuts, because we have a lot to make. So first and foremost, the Serpent's staying. This card is just going to be good. I think that, like I said, there's a good chance we play this as a 5, at least, or at most rather, like a 5-mana 5/6, which is very strong, because we have a lot of cheap artifacts. So let's look at our curve. I think the Sailback can go. I think the Technician can go too. It's cool that it's got the effect, but it's just not good enough, I don't think. So we'll take the Serpent. We still definitely want to release the Gremlins, and this doesn't even have to be in the 5-drop slot, but that's fine. We can leave it there for now. So if I separate, why don't we take a look at what our removal is? Renegade Map's gone, by the way. I think even Implement's gone too. We need to make cuts, and Implement is just not good enough. And we still have plenty of artifacts. Because remember, these can get artifacts. The Swooper can get artifacts. Maybe we don't need double Gear Smasher. We can easily cut at least a couple creatures. I kind of like our energy generators that we have. We're going to boot the Rebuke too. It just seems unnecessary. Even though we could play it for the reduced cost, I'd rather just have hard removal. Why don't we do a count on our Artificers? 1, 2, 3. This is a rogue, right? It's weird that a dude that scries is a rogue and he's a theorist. I would expect him to be an Artificer, wouldn't you? So 3, 4, 5. Only 5? That's a lot less than I thought. We're going to run 16 lands. Okay, well, I've got to decide on some cuts here. Okay, I kind of want the Malfunction just because it's an actual hard removal spell. It's expensive, though. I still think that's okay. So why don't we cut 1 Goggles? I'm okay with that. Why don't we cut a P-Foul? I'm okay with that. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These kind of can get artifacts, but even just straight artifacts, we have 5. This definitely counts as an artifact because it can make one right away. So that's 6. 7, 8, 9, yeah, and that's all low, and we have the 10. So we have enough for we have enough for everything we want to do with artifact value for sure. I still may cut one of our Gear Smashers just because I'm looking for cuts. And it just seems like an easy one to cut. We still have to make 2 more cuts after this, though. So I really need to just crack down and think of the weakest cards in our deck. Like, I don't want to cut these artifacts. Like, having Quad Automaton is not great because it's not like their abilities synergize well together. Maybe I just need to cut 1 and be okay with that. It does seem like 4 is excessive, despite needing some artifact synergy. Having 4 essentially Goblin Pikers in the early game that are artifacts is not great, admittedly. So that does seem like something that we can pretty comfortably cut. I'm still definitely am on board with Dockhand. I may cut the Puzzle Knot. How many energy generators do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8's a good number of energy generators to have. It really is. And Puzzle Knot is, I feel like this card is deceptively good, but I don't want to cut any of these cards really. I'm still willing to cut a Goggles, but I've been pretty impressed with Goggles. And this is kind of the right color scheme for Goggles. It's just not the optimum build because we just only ended up with like 5 or 6 Artificers. Obviously, you don't need Artificers to make Goggles good, but it certainly helps. I'm not going to cut any of our removal spells, like Flames, Double Revolution, Malfunction, Tampering even, Release the Gremlins. Like, we have good... Our removal package is very solid. I don't want to mess with that. It's kind of screaming like we can cut a creature pretty easily. Maybe I cut 1 more Automaton. It just seems like the easiest thing to cut. I could cut the Gear Smasher, but I kind of like the diversity in the deck. I like being able to throw servos away and deal 2 damage, or throw Thopters away and deal 2 damage. Like, I feel like Gear Smasher can put people away without me having to attack, which is really nice. Like, I really like being able to have a stalled board state plan, right? Because we have, like, the Rebel plan on stalled board state. We have the Dockhand to gain card advantage. We have Tampering to just get in. We've got the Gear Smasher to throw damage at their face. We have the Serpent to be unblockable. Like, all of this adds up together to be a really nice, like, late game way to win on a stalled board state. So why don't we just cut 1 more Automaton? Because I'm pretty comfortable running 2. Our curve is still very good, I think. Yeah, I think our curve is still very good. Remember, you could even put this at the 3-drop slot. It's perfectly acceptable there. So our curve is low. I guess we have a few 4-drops, but I still think we can easily get away with 16 lands here. And we probably only need... We don't have any double red, so we can probably get away with 9/7, although that might be... Well, this needs blue. This guy kind of... Well, that guy doesn't need blue. These guys don't need blue. This guy needs blue, though. Yeah, because we have the double 2, I think we're going to do 9/7. Thankfully, we didn't end up with any double red spells, which is really nice. So why don't we do 9/7? And, yeah, so blue-red, artifacty synergy stuff with some energy on top of it, and some high-value cards, some good removal. We can deal with anything. We can win in the late game. We can beat down early. So I like the options that this deck has at its disposal. So it looks good to me. So we'll play it like this, and we'll see you round 1.